Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. And we also bring on subject matter experts to help enlighten us with their wisdom. Now, if you are watching this episode outside of our Facebook group, make sure to find the link above or below this video, or go to smmamastermind.com, especially if you're in the agency community. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me all the way from the US. She is in Milford, Connecticut. Her name is Julia Seraphin, and she is the founder of the Julia Seraphin agency, I believe. Julia, welcome to the show.
Hi, well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining me. Now, you mentioned that you are in between meetings, so I take it you're quite busy. So, for the people who might not know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction?
So, hi, I'm Julia Seraphine. I am a 22-year-old social media expert and founder and CEO of the Julia Seraphine agency. I've been doing social media since I was 9, and I've been doing it professionally for the past 5 to 6 years.
Wow. Okay, that's you started when you were 9. So, where did that begin?
So I actually started on a social media site called Roblox, which is for kids. And being a kid at the time, I really fit in. And I learned how to use the native advertising platform on the site. And I ran advertising campaigns, measured KPIs, made strategic partnerships, all at the age of 9 years old, which led to my title as the digital marketing prodigy.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So kind of, I suppose from 9 to 22, what has the journey been like for you?
So I actually quit when I was maybe 11. I just couldn't handle the digital marketing pressure because, I was 11. And then in high school, I sort of became more interested in social media again. And I created my own little Instagram account for my friends. And it wasn't until college that I realized that I could be doing this professionally. And I started marketing other people's accounts, marketing my own accounts. I actually reached 10,000 followers on Instagram while I was in college. And now I hit 20,000, but I was
Wow.
inactive. So now I'm back down to 18,000. But yeah, that's sort of been my journey.
Oh, that's amazing. So I'm guessing you've graduated now and you're doing this full time.
Yeah, this is my full time job.
No, that's absolutely awesome. So for your clients, what kind of services are you delivering for them?
So I provide social media optimization, continual management. I provide content creation and posting, customer service, and any other social media related activities that my clients ask for specifically. I also offer programmatic advertising, and I'm in the works in offering more services that are digital marketing related to my clients.
Oh, that's interesting. This is the first time someone has mentioned programmatic advertising to me. Actually, we'll go into that in a second. But I suppose looking at the clients you're serving right now, are you working with a particular niche or industry, or kind of are you servicing clients who are, I suppose, a good fit for you?
I guess for me, I'm just accepting clients that I think work with my business model. So I guess right now I'm working with a college coach, an app for elder care. I'm working with this foundation, which is a nonprofit that works for entrepreneurs in schools. I have a few potential clients in the works that are also in various other industries. And they're also from various other geographical locations as well. So I've just been accepting clients left and right from all over the world.
That's
My
that's
farthest reaching client being from Japan.
Wow, okay, that's absolutely amazing. And I suppose you seem to be in quite a fortunate place with this pandemic and all of that. And you hear a lot of stories about businesses not being able to operate. And I know in the freelance community, a lot of freelancers have lost their gigs and their livelihoods and whatnot. What's working for you to attract all of these clients?
It's all been word of mouth, really. And it's been a lot of networking locally as well as at the international level. I'm a part of as many as like maybe 10 to 12 networking groups. And I reach out to a lot of people individually as well, but none have been quite as popular as my clients referring me to other clients because they're so happy with my services.
Right, that's awesome. I mean, do you ask for the referral or do they just pass you on?
They just pass me on. I feel like asking for a referral might be greedy because it's like, oh, I already have you as a client. But then they just end up being happy enough that they end up passing along
No,
the
that
word of mouth.
no, that's absolutely awesome. So, how did you pick up your first client then? The very first one that passed you on, was that through networking online or through something else?
So I actually, as a social media expert, before I was a consultant and a freelance social media manager, I was invited to an event at USA Today for super connectors. And I ended up meeting a lot of different people there that were higher ups in their own industries, as well as founders of their own companies. And I ended up being invited on my first few podcasts from that event, my first few clients. And then they started referring me to their friends, and then they started referring me to their friends.
No, that's absolutely awesome. Now, you mentioned that you're also providing programmatic advertising as a service. Now, most people that I speak to who might be providing kind of content creation and posting, working on the organic social media side of things, never heard of them working on the programmatic advertising side. To be honest, so what are you actually doing for your clients?
So right now, I actually just recently started offering the programmatic advertising, I'd say within the last month. And I've had quite a few inquiries about it, but I haven't started fully offering it yet. I partner with a programmatic advertising agency that works with my company specifically for this programmatic advertising. So once my clients are prepared to start working for it, then me and my team, as well as the team over at the advertising agency, will start that.
Right. Okay. No, that's great. I mean, especially if you can get clients who can invest in primarily brand advertising with programmatic, isn't it? Because it's not really known to drive conversions. So, do you run any Facebook ads for your clients, or is it all purely organic?
So most of my business is actually organic, but I do have clients that I run Facebook and Instagram advertising for. I wouldn't recommend LinkedIn advertising because it's expensive and you don't really get what you pay for,
Yeah.
especially compared to Facebook, where the conversion rate is a lot higher than LinkedIn.
hmm No, that kind of makes sense. So, in your agency right now, are you doing all of the work by yourself, or do you have a team? What's your setup like?
So there's me, and then I have a team of 4 interns as well as an assistant.
That's nice. Okay. So what do the interns actually work on? Are they kind of doing account management or content creation? How have you structured the different roles?
So one of my interns who's deaf, it's been hard to work with her primarily because I can't really speak with her over the phone. But I found that she works best doing research. So I like to play to my intern's strengths. I have one intern who's very skilled at copywriting. I have an intern that's skilled at creatives. And two of my interns are both very skilled at account management and engagement campaigns. So I have a lot of very talented interns, as well as myself, who does most of the work.
Right. Okay. No, that makes sense. So you mentioned that, you initially grew your Instagram following to 10,000 and then to 20,000. I think a lot of people struggle to get 10 followers, let alone 100. What's the secret there?
So it's all about community building and engagement with others. I get a lot of my engagement reciprocally, which means I give it and then I get it back from others. And I reach out to others in the community in the niche, and they sort of grow with my account and they become friends of mine. And we build a nice community, and that's how you really grow following, especially on Instagram.
So does that mean to follow to get 10,000 followers, you need to follow 10,000 people first?
Well, I wouldn't say following for follow, but
Right.
definitely reaching out to people, liking, commenting, engaging with hashtags, and then that would lead to getting that many followers.
Right. Okay. And how long is that process for someone who is starting from scratch? how long will it take them to get a meaningful number of followers, or to get, I suppose, a purposeful audience who's going to engage with their content?
I'd say it would take you a good 3 months to maybe get your first 1,000 followers. And then from there, it's not about like growing in a linear manner or even in an exponential manner. It's more about just trying to build a healthy community around yourself and around your message. And then
Mhm.
that's what really determines how long it would take to grow.
Right. And for local businesses, obviously, I know when you're a national brand, you can ride on hashtags that are trending, and kind of, everyone has an opinion on something that's trending, right? Kind of trend hijacking or whatever they call it. For smaller businesses that are serving maybe a local town or city, what kind of hashtag strategy or hashtag research strategy works well for those kind of businesses?
I would say definitely looking into what people are doing locally, local events, local happenings. Maybe if there's like a parade happening in town, you would want to get a float in that and then promote your social media using maybe like a banner on your float. With the local businesses, it's good to get creative and it's good to reach out to other businesses in the area as well. It's all about community building, like I said, and getting truly engaged in the community is how you could really grow locally as well.
Hmm. So when your clients come to you, what are they actually looking for?
A lot of people tell me, Julia, I had a Facebook page and we haven't posted in 2 years. It looks terrible. Please transform it, be like the fairy godmother and create it from scratch. And then that's what I do.
Right. Okay. So I mean, when you mentioned you were looking at KPIs when you were nine years old, and that's totally amazing. When you're measuring and reporting performance back to your clients, what kind of KPIs are you kind of looking at? What keeps them happy?
So a lot of people are happy when I'm able to convert their followers and engagement into actual customers. So most of my clients are happiest when I bring them actual business from social media. But
Right.
in terms of social media, they're probably happiest with followers.
Okay. And the actual sales, how are you measuring them? Are you setting up tracked links, or, how do they know, I suppose, the volume of sales you've driven for them?
Well, most of them know how many sales they're getting originally. And then a lot of them tell me, "Oh, my I talked to a customer today and they said they came because they saw us on social media." And it's usually when those customers tell my client that the social media actually worked, that's how I know that I'm doing my job perfectly.
Right. Okay. No, that that totally makes sense. So, in terms of looking at the social media landscape, right, it's evolving very quickly. There was Facebook, and then there's Instagram, and then there's TikTok and Telegram and Signal and WhatsApp, and all of these things that are confusing for a lot of people. Where should people place their eggs? Which basket do we choose?
So for every social media, there's an existing audience on that social media, and there are demographics that flock to it. Like older users are more drawn to Facebook, where younger users are drawn to more Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The youngest, especially, being drawn to YouTube because they have unfiltered access to it using their parents' tablets or phones. So it depends on what brand you run and the sort of audience that you want to build. Where are they on social media? You got to be where they are.
And how do you trace your audience? I suppose if someone's starting from scratch there and they're like, well, I have all sorts of customers, moms and pops and teenagers, from the boomers to the Gen Z. How can someone work out the best place or the best platform for their business?
So that comes down to personal research. I know that Hootsuite personally, they post certain statistics like, oh, in 2021, 1.4 million active users were on this platform. Or I believe there were 2.8 billion active monthly users on Facebook in the year 2021, or starting in the year 2021. So you have to look up the statistics and the numbers to back up your choices. But I would definitely say that, like, if you're B2B, go LinkedIn. If you're direct to consumer, then go to Instagram and Facebook and make business decisions based on how you could best market to your audience.
Right. And a lot of people who have been in the marketing field for a while obviously keep on saying that organic reach on Facebook has been dying kind of progressively for the last couple of years. And now they're beginning to see that slightly with Instagram. Do you find that organic reach is a lot smaller than it used to be on Instagram?
I was saying this in my last two guest lectures, the one most recently being the most potently, but like Instagram, when they changed from their model of the chronological timeline to the algorithm-based timeline, they they halved organic reach on their site. And that was 2016. They've just made it worse and worse from there. And Facebook especially, you could get such terrible reach from your page. But if you post into a Facebook group that has a lot of members and they're active members and they're looking for the content that you're posting, and you're posting value, then the organic reach there is actually huge.
Mm. No, absolutely. You're spot on with that, especially in our Facebook community. In our group, we have like organic reach of 25 to 50% on certain days, and that's over a couple of thousand members. Now, looking, I suppose, at content that works well, everybody's on the video bandwagon. Um, when you're working or creating content for your clients, what's your content creation strategy?
I guess my strategy is whatever content provides the most value for the niche that I'm in. So, for example, one of my clients is a college coach, and I think providing the best value would be tips and tricks for the college application process for teenagers and their parents, and posting that on a site like Instagram, where the existing audience is your target demographic. That is where you would get the best turnaround for your content.
Hmm. And I see a lot of people, they might start posting content for a week and they're posting on a daily basis and they're getting maybe incremental reach and engagement or some reach and no engagement. And then they quit because they can't see the results. How consistent does someone need to be before they see any meaningful results?
I would say that at least posting every day on a weekday for a month is enough to really bring up your engagement. And it's not just about like just posting and then just having the content there. It's also about hashtags, running an engagement campaign at the same time. An engagement campaign being like reaching out to others and giving engagement, and reaching out to others in the community. It's all about what you do in tandem with your posting, because just posting alone, I was saying this, what was it? I think it was in one of my TV appearances. I was saying that just posting alone is not enough to grow.
Right. Okay. And do you do any work with influencers and getting them to promote brands or products?
I'm actually just moving into the influencer space. My influencer network started to not work during the pandemic because since I do local businesses and I did a lot of local businesses in the city in New York, like a lot of people went from like, oh, I could travel there to, oh, I can't leave the house because of the government. They said that I can't leave the house because it's 100% unsafe
Right.
to leave the house right now. And one of my clients even got mad that I couldn't get an influencer to come to their salon.
Right.
And they ended up being like, ah, I'm so mad. You said you get me an influencer. And they're like, it's the pandemic. So yeah, I do work with influencers again,
Right.
starting recently. I'm trying to build out my network of influencers that I know,
Right.
but that's something that I'm moving into again.
Now, where does the value of influencers actually lie? Because I've, you know, spoken to business owners who think most of these influencers are just kind of, living a fake lifestyle and selling the dream to people and they have no real influence. And then obviously there are those kind of some of those influencers that can drive engagement and sales. I'm myself, I have no idea what to make of it. I do know there's a lot of kind of, fake lifestyles being promoted on Instagram, as we hear so many stories. What value does an influencer bring to a business these days?
They bring social proof and they bring a reliable face to your brand. So where you're just a company, say, for example, you're one of my clients.
Hmm.
Like if you just reached out to people directly, they'd say like, oh, that's a corporation. I don't really trust what they're saying. They could be lying. But if their favorite influencer that they trust says like, hey, I used this, this is good, they reached out to me, they were nice, they're a good company, then that's all the social proof that you need to really drive sales. And a lot of people overlook it because they think like, oh, their followers, they're not real, like they're just gonna post it and then I'm not gonna get any customers. But that couldn't be further from the truth, especially with larger influencers and YouTubers. Like YouTubers are huge drivers of sales.
Right. Okay. And is it ever a good idea to buy followers for your own business, or what's your take on that?
So I would say if you don't care about your engagement and you strictly just want to say, oh, I have an account and it has 1 million followers, and you don't care if that doesn't mean anything, then go ahead and spend like thousands of dollars buying all these fake followers.
Right.
But if you want like an actual business and you want to drive sales, you want good engagement, you want to build a community, don't buy followers, please. They'll ruin your account. And because your engagement rate is so low, it'll really throttle your organic reach beyond the point that it's already been throttled.
Right.
And it's
Awesome.
so much worse. Don't do it.
Yeah, no, no, I get it. I know some people still are tempted to get the first couple of hundred and then they want to keep on buying more and more and more. Now, in terms of the campaigns that you have worked on, what's been the best campaign or activity that you've worked on for a client?
I would definitely say my engagement campaigns have been the most powerful, especially for smaller local businesses. I grew like one of my recent success stories is having grown like 200 local targeted followers who are specifically looking for this business in less than a month because just strictly because of an engagement campaign.
Hmm. And is that like a paid campaign, or what are the mechanics of it?
So actually an engagement campaign would just be where I would have my team reach out to other people in the community. Maybe I would scrape a list of people that are following similar local businesses in the area, and you know that they like the content that this particular business is putting out and it's like your business. So
Mm.
you sort of take from a mirror audience and engage with that mirror audience because you know that they're looking for exactly what you're
Sure.
selling.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
there you go.
actually free.
Yeah, no, that's quite straightforward. Now, I know you're very busy, so I'm not going to, keep you much longer. For someone who's looking to reach out to you or learn more about what you do, where's the best place to find you?
So two big things, LinkedIn and my website. Both of those, you could reach out to me right away. I had a potential client reach out to me today on Instagram, and I have so many followers on Instagram. I have a healthy community that I get a lot of messages and I can't read them all. So if you're looking to work with me or you're looking to ask for advice, definitely don't reach out to me on Instagram, but please reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to me on my website. My email is also listed on my website as well as my phone number. So if you need to give me a call and you would like to inquire about my services, please feel free to do so.
Awesome. On that note, Julia Seraphin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abul, for having me.